Hey guys, welcome back to Shire Shenanigans. I'm Nicole and I'm so glad that you're here. So I've got a WIP chat for you guys today. Long time no chat. Yeah, I figured it's been a hot minute since we've just sat down and hung out and thought it would be fun. I've got hour and a half-ish until my son comes back from his time with his nanny. So I figured we would do this. Right now it is Wednesday, January 16th? No, 15th. Right? Yes. I know what day it is. I know it's a Wednesday. So I thought maybe we would start our WIP Chats as like a What's Up Wednesday. And maybe I'll do things every Wednesday. We'll see. We'll see. I don't always have something to talk about, but you know, I might find something. So yeah. My day has been, it's been okay. Just kind of, you know, doing work stuff, posting listings, taking pictures, filling up carts that I'm not going to check out, you know, the usual. Today is actually the start of Elisa, Mank Arts and Crafts, Lunar New Year Diamond Paint Along. So I should probably have one of those minders here, you know, for shameless plugs, but I don't, because of course not. But I am a sponsor for that event, and I did launch 2 minders for that today. I designed a specific event minder. I'll put it up there to have for her event probably every year. It's only going to be available while the event is going on. So from now, January 15th, until February 28th, you can get one. And then I also designed a Year of the Snake one, which I'll put a picture there, that will be available all year long, because this is the Year of the Snake. And I might, let me know in the comments if you think this is worth it, but I was kind of considering making like a retroactive Year of the Dragon one. I wasn't making minders last year, so I didn't make, well, I started last year, but not like, you know, around like the Lunar New Year. So I didn't make a dragon one, but I like dragons, and I'm sure you like dragons, and I know at least 5 other people who like dragons, so that could be worthwhile. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you think that's a good idea. Oh, before we get too far, accessories. So, and maybe what kit I'm working on. It has been a minute. So I'm using my Chrysalis pen from Butterfly Effectwares. It's a fatter pen to kind of help with grip. It's honestly probably carpal tunnel going on in my hand. My hand will straight go to sleep while I'm diamond painting, and that sucks. But this pen actually really helps with that. I really miss my normal sized pens. I have an obnoxious collection of them, but it hurts right now to use them, so I'm using this one. Tray is a Mooney made tray. It's a small one. I got this one as a premium upgrade when I bought one of her kits. I'm trying to go through and use all of my trays at least once this year, so that I can kind of maybe figure out which ones I really like and which ones I don't, so that I can destash the ones that I don't, instead of just holding on to them and cluttering my house. 2025 I think is definitely going to be the year Nicole declutters her house. I started last year. We'll just see if we can keep it going. Nope, that makes the glare bad. We're gonna leave you there. Yeah, so this is a Mooney made tray. I do like it. I tried using one of her large trays way back when, and I didn't. But I think she's improved it. Like the first time I used the big tray, it, like my multi-placer didn't fit to pick up the diamonds. It was like hitting the walls. And that could have been user error because I was a super beginner. But it was frustrating, and so I never touched it again. But I also don't really use big trays because I even have a note that says it. I have baby hands, so I need smaller trays. Storage containers, I am using Elizabeth Ward. I don't know if I'd say they're my favorite. I really like them, but I don't actually know if I have a favorite. I have a lot of Art Dot, like the cylindrical containers, and I really like those too. It really just depends on the kit. If I have a higher color count kit, then I use my Elizabeth Ward. Otherwise I use my Art Dot ones. Yeah, I think I probably like them both pretty much the same. Putty or wax wise, you guys can make fun of me and that's fine. I actually just use the pink wax that comes with kits. I have enough Diamond Art Club kits that still have pink wax in them that I will probably never need to buy anything else ever again. And that's mostly why I use it. I have it. It's here. And at least for me, it works pretty well with all kinds of diamonds. These ones, this is a full crystal kit, so the diamonds are acrylic, fun fact. And so they do dirty up wax or putty a lot faster, but I don't think that would be any different if I used a fancy one, and if anything, that means I would use up and waste my fancy wax or putty faster, and that's just silly to me. So I do have nice wax and putty. I just don't actually use it very often because I don't know. I don't have a problem using this, and I've got enough of it to coat a small country, so I might as well use it. You can't really see it very well, but I do have, I'll move this down for a minute. Whoop, a little needle minder, cover minder. We're diamond painting, not cross stitching. Of my cat stack. These are available in the shop, and I actually did a little bit of cost adjustment today, and I'm happy to say that prices went down on some minders and none of them went up. So this is actually one of them that went down by $1. So instead of $10, this cutie is now $9. A handful of other ones also did, like my in my defense the moon was full went down to 9 instead of 10, and my I think it's coffee crafting sleep repeat is what it says one. That one went down. And my heart that has a dark romance acronym on it, that one also went down in price. I'm going to go through and probably look at a couple more, and just to make sure that cost of materials and shipping and all of that is lining up with the price, and ensuring that I am offering the best price for you guys that I can, because that's really important to me. I never want to charge too much, but I do need to make sure that I am at least, covering costs and all of that and business things or whatever. But I have a feeling I'll be able to knock down a couple more prices, which is exciting. And then, yeah, so I had that. I haven't told you the kit. So this is Stained Glass Dragon by Anna Whooten? I'm probably saying it wrong. From Crystal Canvas Art Designs. If you haven't heard of them, don't worry, you're probably not alone. I don't see very much marketing for them, but they do full crystal canvases, which I thought was really cool back when I got started, and it is still cool. I don't know if these are necessarily for me. It is gorgeous. I do like all of the crystals, but they don't always sit very well together. And like, for instance, I've had a lot of popping drills on this one, and I think it's because of all of the trash. I think what's happening is sometimes drills are getting placed that maybe have like tabs around them that make it more difficult for them to sit closely, which usually isn't a very big problem on rounds, but it is when the gems are kind of big. So yeah, that's like half user because I'm not seeing the trash first. My dog is gonna freak out. That's something. Sorry about that. Yeah, but yeah, if the trash is big, then it's gonna pop. And if I'm not seeing the trash and placing it, that's on me. But also, acrylic drills can be kind of trash prone. And so it's, you know, no one is really at fault. It's just, this might not be super my jam. I do have a couple of more canvases from them, and I'm going to do them because they're gorgeous. I just might not buy more. I will have a link to this down below, though, if you have an interest in full crystal canvases, so that you can go, I'm just going to put it right in the glue, so that you guys can go check them out. They have some really beautiful art. Like, this kit is going to be a showstopper once it's done. And I think this one might be the first one that I seal, mostly just because of all of those popping drills. It does worry me. I do want to hang this one up, although I think it might blind people when the sun hits it, which I don't know, that could be funny. But yeah, so there's a lot of popping, and I'll seal it so that drills don't fall off. Yeah, I see, I'm looking out my window. I don't know if those are like Mormon missionaries. I really hope not. Don't come to my house. Oh cool, they're just gonna keep walking. Sweet, I don't have to be rude and not answer my door. Do you guys do that? I have no problem if you have faith or whatever and like feel the need to tell people about it, but like I don't like strangers coming to my house. I don't really care what you're here to peddle, be it like something you want me to buy or a religious thing you want me to listen to. Just don't come to my house. Yeah, but we don't have that problem. They kept walking. Anyway, yeah, so crystal canvases, very bright. This one I've been working on for a while, and I kind of just wanted to get it done. Like this, I think 2025 is gonna be maybe a year of getting some WIPs done. I have a lot of things started, so it would be kind of nice to just, you know, move them along. Like it's not because I don't like them. I just have an attention issue, and if there's a new pretty kit, then I might just kit it up. And then that means other WIPs get abandoned, and then that one will eventually get abandoned when the next pretty kit releases, you know, that kind of thing. And I don't know, I want to finish my kits. And high-key, I want to finish them so that I have a bunch of empty containers and can have like a kit up party. Maybe live? I don't know. That would be kind of fun. You know, I'll get our kits and just hang out and kit up and put them away and work on them very slowly. Be like, oh, I kitted this up last year. Actually, Stardust, the kit that I finished first this year so far, was one that I kitted up sometime last year. I guess I don't entirely remember when, but it had been kit up for quite a while before it ever got worked on, and I finished it really quick, so I'm kind of kicking myself for waiting so long. But it was around, so I mean that also kind of makes sense. At least for me, rounds do go faster. I think it's because I don't have to worry too much about the placement, and worry all that much about pulling like trash drills out and stuff like that, because it's typically, at least on most kits, apparently not this one, with rounds the trash isn't as much of a deal breaker. This one is also like just straight up confetti. Like there's very little color blocking. Like we're on the dragon's like chest and wings right now. Like this part right here is actually really rare. When I got it, it looked like it should be like, you know, it's stained glass, so there should be chunks of color blocking for each little piece of glass, and this would go quickly. But Crystal Canvas computer charts their kits, which typically means that it's going to be very high color, or at least high confetti, not necessarily high color, because the computer is trying to match the image as close as it can, and that means a whole lot of confetti when it comes to diamond painting. And I think these kits have their place. They're not my favorite, to be honest. I think if I knew that this was a computer charted image back when I bought it, I wouldn't have. Just because this level of confetti doesn't really bring me joy, which is another reason why I'm trying to finish it. Yeah, just so that, you know, it's done. It's off of my brain. I can move on to kits that bring me more joy. This is definitely one that I am doing for the finish, not really the process. And I don't do a whole lot of kits like that because you're going to spend a bunch of time on it. You should enjoy the process. But it's like it takes forever because you've got to find the right symbol. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry if you guys hear background noise. I don't know what's going on when I try to film these. It's my own dog that typically goes crazy. It's like as soon as I start talking, she really needs attention, and then she just kind of goes berserk with every noise that she hears. But if I'm not talking, she's totally fine. Go figure, right? Like right now, she is standing on her legs, like her back legs, so that she can stare into my soul while I'm trying to do this. So you might hear little whines because she just wants attention, which is fine. She's a little Boston Terrier. Very cute. Very needy. I definitely don't need a second child because I already have one. She's a fur baby. And she was here first. And there she goes. Toru! I'm so sorry. They're doing something next door. This is another reason why we don't do WIP Chats very often. But let's see. Life. Life has been... It's been okay. I don't really have anything that I would say is not going great. We had some friends over the weekend. That was a lot of fun. It was like a belated friend Christmas celebration. Since they drive over the mountains to get to us, it's kind of like an okay, let's wait for the weather to not be absolute trash so that you don't get stranded here or get in a car accident or any of those things while getting here. The other complaint I have about this kit is the plastic. It's so thin. Yeah, so they were here over the weekend. Ren had a good time. We had a good time. I do think maybe Ren got a little overstimulated and he's still kind of like working that out. He's been a bit fussier this week. super not interested in hanging out with his friends or going with his nanny. I almost wonder if it is because, you know, there was so much going on this weekend. Everyone needs to decompress, and we just kind of went from a weekend of a bunch of people in the house straight into Monday. And he's with his nanny typically Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And like, he was okay on Monday, but I think maybe it's catching up to him. We were going to try seeing if he would be cool with like a bonus day yesterday, just to kind of play catch up mostly with not having childcare for 2.5 weeks at the end of December. He was having none of that though, so that did not happen, which is fine. I try for the most part to kind of let him, you know, he gets a say in what happens to him to an extent. I mean, I am his mother, so I do get the final say. But if he, like, yesterday was not a normal nanny day, so I didn't force it. We kind of hung out with his nanny for like 2-ish hours, while the other little boy that she watches kind of played around and talked with Ren and played with them and kind of tried to see like, okay, well, are you comfortable now going out to play? Like, is it okay if mommy does her errands? And it just kind of never got to a point where that was a yes. So I meant around noon, I just kind of told her, I was like, hey, I really appreciate you trying, but Ren's gonna stay home today. So there was that. So orders that were going to ship yesterday didn't ship until today. If you're one of those people that was wondering like why you got a shipping label and it hadn't moved, that's why. Those did get dropped off today at the post office. So no biggie. Let's see. Business has been good. I think I'm pretty close to being back on a normal release schedule for Minders. I don't really see anything coming up anytime soon that's gonna get in the way of that. I'm scanning real quick for peas. Make sure I didn't miss any. I always miss one. Do you guys do that? Where you're, oh, there's one. Where you're trying to fill in a confetti color and it's like, okay, I got them all, and then you're filling in another one and then it's like immediately right there staring in the face. It's the worst. Yes, so I think I'm back on a regular schedule for posting new Minders in the shop. This week is gonna be, I guess, a little weird maybe on the Friday release. I'm not doing, because we did the midweek release for the Lunar New Year, I'm not going to have any wooden Minders releasing. On Friday, I'm going to have a couple options for trash drill containers instead. I haven't shared pictures for them yet, so don't worry, you haven't actually missed anything. I need to finalize which ones I'm going to put up. I've got a couple things sitting in the, like, on the sidelines ready to just have magnets put on them and go up. Just a couple, like, cute little, like, containers that I've found while out on my adventures. I'm like, ooh, that would be a cool trash reminder. So those will go up Friday, probably at the normal release time, you know, noon Pacific Standard Time, because I am in Washington. Yeah, and then next week we'll have a normal wooden Minder release on Friday. Which that should be easy because I've actually already got that release cut and lined up. I just need to get pictures taken for it. Which weirdly enough actually takes quite a bit of time. each minder gets 5 pictures. So if I'm doing like 5 new minders, that's 25 pictures to take and edit. Which really adds up. I found. So, but because I've already got the designs lined up, I can space it out better throughout the week. Fun fact, typically with Minder releases, I don't have that stuff finished and planned out until like Wednesday or Thursday, and then they go up Friday. Planning ahead is not my strong suit, but we'll get there. I'm actually, my doctor is adjusting my dose for my ADHD medication, speaking of the ability to focus. Oh, I'm just going to shake the table. So we're increasing it to see if maybe it will be a bit more effective and work on finding that like sweet spot. For me, I take, what is it called? Methylphenidate, which is, it's basically Ritalin for my ADHD. And like when I first started, it was going great and I could definitely tell the difference. And it was super helpful. And then like the more it kind of leveled out for me, it stopped helping as much at the dose that we started me on, but we started me on a pretty low dose. So it was almost expected that that would happen. So we're going to increase it probably starting tomorrow. And then I get to kind of figure out like, okay, does this work? How do I feel? Hopefully that means that I can keep on a good release schedule and a good posting schedule, because that was something else that I really wanted to work on, was filming and posting regular videos, more regular videos. I've been wanting to try and get on a posting schedule for a while now. Something like that though can be really hard when you have a little one with little to no village, I guess. The only childcare we have is his nanny, those 3 times a week. And I kind of have to pack in everything that I do in a week into those times on those 3 days. So I have anywhere between 18 to 21 hours in a week to do the household chores and the errands and getting all of the stuff for the shop done and all of that. So actually, if I wasn't in need of a video to post for you guys today, you don't forget about me, I probably wouldn't be diamond painting. I don't actually get to diamond paint during the day, really ever. Even though Ren isn't here, because like I said, I'm usually doing everything that needs to get done during the week during this time. But this falls under the category of things that need to get done. So here we are. Which is fine. This plastic is so thin, it's gonna drive me nuts. And it tore, so it's not sitting right under the minder. It's very frustrating. Okay. Yep, my brain's just gonna turn off there. But yeah, so we'll see. We'll see if it works. You guys might notice before I do, and you'll be like, wow, Nicole is hanging out a lot more often, and her thoughts are more coherent. We hear from her on a regular basis, not just every 2 weeks when she's like, oh my god, I should probably say something so that people don't think that I'm dead. Yeah. I do still, speaking of posting, I was planning to do a planning video actually. So I've been watching, I like binging Lizette of Lizette Craft and Tells videos, especially like her ones about planning. I think they're really interesting. And she posted a little series recently about her like diamond painting It's not a flowchart, and it's not a road trip. But just like kind of like her diamond painting plans for the year and how she plans it and stuff like that, so that, like, you know, she doesn't go over crazy in her stash because she just finished her massive stash detox, and just kind of keeping track of everything that she spent, which is a very scary but I think a very necessary thing that probably most of us need to do. I don't know about you guys, but I have an obnoxious stash, and I know it's an obnoxiously large stash. I'm not necessarily embarrassed by it, but it should maybe not grow any more than it already has. So I need to pull out my bullet journal. I actually have an empty one, because of course I do, that I could use for this, and I think I'm going to. I need to pull it out and I'm going to rewatch her videos, and actually watch them, because the first time I did it, you know, no one actually watches videos. We listen to them, let's be real. I was listening to it and kind of absorbing a bit and thinking like, oh, you know, that sounds like fun, that's doable. I should do something like that. So maybe, I don't know, maybe tonight, tomorrow, sometime in the next like 2 days, I want to do that. And then I might film some of the actual like live planning, but for the most part when I'm doing stuff like that, I actually find that it's really hard to talk while I'm doing it. So it might just be like time lapse or just like little snippets of the planning, because I don't want you guys to just sit there and watch me quietly write in a bullet journal. At least to me that doesn't sound fun. Yeah, and that's exactly what's going to happen, because as soon as I start thinking and planning, my brain is going to go boop, and just I will lose my ability to form sentences and talk to you guys. Does that happen to you? If you're like deep in thought, you've like pretty much can't talk, because then it breaks your thought train, and then you don't know you don't know what's going on anymore. That's at least how my brain is. WIP chats are actually kind of hard for that respect, because I'm trying to look at symbols and diamond paint and stuff and form coherent sentences and thoughts for you guys, so that you aren't just sitting here watching me do, if you actually watch it, we just talked about that, watching me do diamond painting and just being like, what in the world is this girl talking about? She's talking in circles like a lunatic. What the heck? I don't want to do that to you guys. That's not fun. But a really big part, I think, of the planning stuff for me is I'm definitely going to be tracking what I spend. And a part of her notebook, did that just go down? Yeah, it did. She's got a space in there for putting kind of like your diamond painting journey. So not only do you track what you've spent in the current year, but you also write down as a starting point what you have spent already in your diamond painting journey. That's definitely going to be the part that really hurts. I know that it's going to be a shocking amount. So maybe it won't hurt as bad. I've been diamond painting since April of 2023, and I have accumulated, you ready for it? Almost 400 diamond paintings. Of course, that's when Tori farts. Very good timing. It's a lot, and I will be the first one to admit that that is a lot, and I refuse to be embarrassed by it. We don't stash shame here, so do not go into my comment section and be rude about it. I will delete your comment. Yeah, we don't do that here. We are kind in this space. But this year I plan to, so I'm going to do the planning, and I'm going to write that down, and I'm going to look at that number, and I'm going to absorb that number. I think I might take it a step further too and see if I can go through at least my Etsy purchases. It might be more difficult to do it through the ones that I got through Facebook groups and stuff like that. But try and get at least a rough ballpark amount for what I spent also on accessories. Because let's be real, guys, diamond painting pens are not cheap. They're damn near the price of a kit, honestly, depending on where you get it from. And I have a pretty healthy stash of pens too. I don't really know what happened last year. I had maybe 2 pens at the beginning of the year, and then it exploded, and it was weird. Because I remember starting 2024 thinking like, oh, I don't really need a bunch of pens. Like, you get a couple and you like them, and that's it. That's good. And then it just, I don't know. It's like I blacked out, realized that I really like sparkly things. I went full crow brain on it and bought a bunch of pens. Which also accounts for a lot of money. I luckily didn't buy a whole bunch of trays, because I really don't need a bunch of trays. I honestly use the same 5 every time. I did buy probably more than I need from a couple of friends who make trays because I love them and I like their trays, even though I don't use them all of the time. Yeah, and then that all adds up, and at the end of the day, it adds up into clutter and money that you could have spent somewhere else. So, and I'm not saying at all, do not buy the things that you like. Absolutely buy that pen that you want. I mean, if it's within your means. But looking at the dollar amount definitely puts into perspective to me that I want to be more intentional about the craft supplies that I buy. Because I don't need a bunch of pens, and I don't need a bunch of trays. And I do have a lot of kits, and it is going to take me a long time to get to them. I don't plan to die anytime soon, so I don't think I'm going to die before I finish them. So don't come in here with that. But it just, it's just, I don't know, it's a bit eye-opening. Yeah, so I'm going to try and get, ballparks and stuff like that for those, and just sit with that for a little bit, to really help root in me, that I am not going to buy every pretty pen that I see. I'm not going to buy every event tray that comes out, or special tray, or I don't need every color of a type of tray that I like. I don't need every beautiful painting that gets released. There's always going to be another beautiful painting if that one sells out or gets discontinued. It's not the end of the world if you miss one. I've got plenty of other pretties in my stash. I think this year is definitely going to be a shop your stash kind of year. A lot like what I'm doing with my yarn, actually. So we've got that big old stash down that we are actually working on. I promise. I will have an update for that. And the same kind of needs to go with my other hobbies. I don't need a whole bunch of stuff. I don't want to go minimalist because that's boring, in my opinion. But I also don't want so much clutter in my house that it bothers me, I want to be able to move and I want to be able to find things. And I want to appreciate and use the things that I have already purchased and I already own. It's actually a pretty incredible feeling when you want to sit down and do something and you realize, oh, I already have the supplies for this. I do not, in fact, need to purchase more. I'm just going to sit down and do that project. And then you do it and you haven't spent a dime. A dime extra. I mean, obviously you already bought that stuff. Or like, if you sit down to do something and you're like, ooh, I don't have this exact thing. Oh, but wait, I have something that's very similar. And then you get this. You use the stuff you own. What? Wild. That's been it's been a really fun feeling that I've been exploring this year. And it's just, I don't know, it's kind of cool when you start to clear things out of your space and you start to have space to move instead of just to store. That kind of goes back to like what I said earlier and how 2025 is definitely my year of declutter. We don't have a very big house. It's not small, I suppose, but there's no storage space, like at all. So, you know, having tubs and tubs of things, at least to me, just feels silly. Like, if I'm gonna put it in a tub, I probably don't need it. Unless it's like Christmas decorations, but that's different. Like, I actually took out, this is kind of embarrassing, 5 or 6 tubs of yarn out of my studio to help start making space, like, you know, so that I can work in there. And it was yarn that I had completely forgotten that I purchased. And even after pulling all of those tubs out, there's still a pretty overwhelming amount of yarn in that space. Like, and it's definitely one of those, like, you take a step back and it's like, how did this happen? Yeah, it's pretty sobering, at least to me. I find it very sobering and humbling. But yeah, like I've got all of that yarn in totes. It's not being used. So a big part of me is like, well, why do you have it? I'm not ready to just get rid of it because I bought it for a reason at some point. I will use it. But I have actually destashed some of it. I have a little library in front of my house that I put craft supplies and stuff in that I know that I am not going to use. And then my community takes it, and it's a great feeling, actually, because one, I'm not giving it to some like multi-million-dollar thrift store chain for them to profit off. It's going to someone in my neighborhood. If I'm going to give it away for free, I kind of want someone else to have it for free, you know? So that's been nice, and I've gotten quite a few little bits and bobs out of my house. And then I've actually done that with a couple of books too that I knew I wasn't going to read. That's kind of another one that I want to work on. Not necessarily like getting rid of or destashing books, but reading the books that I already have. Wild concept, right? I mean, who does that? But I am actually out of bookshelf space. I don't have anywhere to put new books. The books that I have are already kind of like piling up on my shelf, and like it's hard to see the books that are on the shelf because there's books in front of them that don't fit in the shelf. And I don't have a problem with that, but it is also like okay, I have a lot of books and I'm not actively reading very many of them. I do a lot of reading actually on my phone or on my Kindle because my son can't tear the pages out of that. Yeah, so there's that. And it's like, okay, and I pay for Kindle Unlimited, so I do read a lot of those. And it's just, yeah, I don't want to not buy books because I love them a lot. But I really just, I don't have space. I don't. And I think a lot of us probably also have that problem where it's like, I really like this thing and it brings me a lot of joy, and I don't personally have a problem with owning a lot of it, but you do have a problem with storing a lot of it. And that's kind of the crux of the situation. I would love to have a small library, but I need the space for a small library first, you know? So there's that. I have already destashed and decluttered a lot of clothing. We have a church, probably not even a block, like it's like kitty corner from us, that runs a little clothing bank out of it, that the community can go and get pretty much as much clothing as they need from it for free, which is fantastic. One, I don't have to like drive across town to go get rid of my clothes. I just go across the street basically, and I'm giving it for free and people are getting it for free, and so that feels better to me. And I'm helping my community, and I'm cleaning out my closet all at the same time, and that's incredible, and I love it. So my husband and I, about once a month, once every 2 months, we go through and we just kind of pull out things that like, okay, this really isn't our taste anymore, or it's not comfortable to us anymore, or like it doesn't fit, or we're finally ready to admit that it doesn't fit, that kind of thing. And then we fill up a bag or two and I drop it off. And I'm pretty good friends with one of the women that run it. And so Ren and I go say hi to her and we drop off clothes, and it's nice. I've done what feels like a good deed to me, and I've made space in my closet. Because once you start decluttering your clothes, it is incredible how much clothing you have. I have been getting rid of clothes for a year now. Like, we've been doing that for a year now, and I still can't fit everything that I own in my closet. And like, I took 4 or 5 bags to the clothing bank last Monday. And it's still incredible how much clothing we have. Like, I have a tub of, like special shirts, like participation shirts and all of that. Old, like, shirts that I got from concerts or whatever, that those concerts were 15 years ago, and this body is 15 years older, and they do not fit. Just things like that are in there that I'm not gonna wear. Part of me is like, oh, but what if you make like a memory quilt? I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna be honest with myself and with you, and I'm not gonna do that. So things are just gonna sit there in a tub, doing nothing, benefiting nobody, and I don't want that. I don't want that. So I need to go through and pull out the ones that are still in good shape and take those to the clothing bank, and the ones that aren't, I actually started buying trashy bags, which are like the take back bags. I got a bunch of ads for them, and I did one for 4 days before I think they rebranded into trashy actually. But what it is you make your account and you order a take back bag, which is just a really big plastic bag that you fill with clothing. Or blankets, actually. I think they take blankets. Also, and shoes. They take shoes. It has to be clean. And you put it in the bag, you fill it up. It's got like a QR code on it that you scan on your phone and fill out the little form, and then they give you like a UPS barcode that you have them scan at like a UPS store, and you get it's called Trashy Cash, and then they you can spend that on like coupons and things on their website with their partners. I think you can also, at least for 4 days, you could use your credit to purchase more bags. I don't know if Trashy does that too. I actually know that they have something right now that you can donate your Trashy Cash to, I think it's the Red Cross, to help with the rescue efforts and all of that for the big California fires that are going on right now. That's something that I was actually considering doing. So I don't really know what I want to use with my Trashy Cash. I have it because I've been cleaning stuff out. So I'll put a link below too for Trashy. None of these are affiliate links. I'm not affiliated with any of these. They're just services that I like. So that you guys can go check it out if you want to declutter some of your more damaged or stained clothing that you don't feel comfortable sending to like a thrift store or a clothing bank, and you don't want to just throw it away, because clothing waste is a huge problem, especially with so much fast fashion. But we're not going to get into that. We're already almost an hour in, and I'm not gonna jump down that rabbit hole. But yeah, so like when we're cleaning out our closet and stuff, any of the clothes that are ratty, or we're not gonna, like, they've got stains or something like that we're not comfortable donating, and they go in the trashy bag and then they get recycled. I think they help make insulation for homes, something like that. Your clothes don't end up in a landfill, and that's really all that I need. I don't want to keep contributing to the rampant waste. And on that note, I haven't actually purchased, let's see, I bought one t-shirt in January. Yeah. From an Etsy shop that I'd been stocking for a while. And finally decided to pull the trigger on getting the shirt. And that is like the only shirt that I have purchased in over a year. I did buy a pair of leggings recently. And I do need to replace a pair of leggings here soon. Because they've got a big old hole on the side. And one of them, my thighs have almost bust out of. But as far as like purchasing new clothes just because they're cute, I haven't done that in like a year really. I've mostly just been replacing clothing as it breaks down, which is a really good feeling. And then like, actually the other day when I did buy a new pair of pants, I bought it from a thrift store. And so it wasn't brand new, and I'm not contributing to the rampant fast fashion problem of our society. And that's just kind of like, I don't know, it's just something I'm proud of, I guess. I like that I've been able to stick to that, and I'm slowly but surely getting my large pile of clothing down into just the things that I wear, instead of hoarding a bunch of stuff that I like, but I don't wear it. So it shouldn't just sit in my closet and rot, basically. Yeah. I'm curious, though, if you guys want to let me know in the comments, what are your plans for the new year? Like, are you also planning a big declutter? Are you looking to spend less? Are you doing like a low buy or a no buy? I think this is actually going to be like not a no buy year for me, but definitely a low buy year for me. I won't be buying pens. I won't be buying trays. I'm not going to buy a bunch of kits. I won't be buying new clothes. I'm actually canceling a bunch of my subscriptions that I don't use and I don't need, so I don't need to keep paying on them, basically. Yeah, and I plan to go through probably most of the boxes and tubs and stuff in our house and clear out a lot of it, because if it's just been sitting in a box or a tub since we moved here, obviously we don't need it. Yeah, and I'm really excited to see what our space looks like after that. And yeah, that's kind of where my brain is. I'm going to stop this here though, because as much fun as this is, and I could probably ramble for another hour apparently, I'm really close to when Ren is supposed to be home, so I don't want them to show up while I'm filming. So I'm going to stop us here. This is a giant section. I knew we weren't going to get it done, but I will probably get this done tonight. And I will get my start photo, which I took before we started, uploaded and whatnot for the event, and get that posted onto my diamond painting Instagram. Which all of my social links are always down in the description box if you guys want to follow me elsewhere also. And yeah, thanks for hanging out with me, and if you enjoyed hanging out with me, I would really appreciate it if you hit that like button, and also if you want to follow on any future crafty journeys that we take, hit that subscribe button and YouTube will let you know when I post a new video, which should hopefully be Friday, with a planning video on what this year is going to look like for us diamond painting wise. Until then, you guys, I love you. Thanks for spending some time with me, and I'll catch you in the next one.